Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube. Music is not a competition. But, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the true measure of a musician's ability, what they know so far in theory and technique, is improvisation. That is just my personal opinion. You might have a different opinion. In fact, you can let me know down in the comments, what is the true measure of a musician? Some of you might choose songwriting, the ability to connect to others, all that stuff. For me, it's improvisation. I teach a lot of people, and I'm getting a lot of new students from YouTube. Link in the description if you want lessons with me. I have this perspective that I see everyone, and they all want the same thing. A lot of people come to me and they want complete fluidity with improvisation. So do I, is usually my response to those people. But I do have a few tricks up my sleeve and a few exercises just like this one. However, I didn't come up with this exercise. This continuous scale exercise that I'm going to talk about today, with loads of, examples, practical examples for you to listen to and inspire you to do yourself. I didn't come up with it. It's from my favourite book on music theory. This is the Jazz Theory book by Mark Levine, or Levine. It's a Bible. It's a Bible of music theory. It's a comprehensive guide to improvisation that can be taken out of the genre of jazz and applied to your own crazy subgenre. And in this book, there is one of the greatest improvisational exercises that I've come across. In fact, there are many, but this is amazing. Here we go. In Mark's words, in a continuous scale exercise, you connect the scale notes from whatever chord you're playing to the scale notes of the following chord. It goes on. I mean, look at this thing. It definitely goes on. What is he getting at? Well, he's going on into very specific, tough stuff there with jazz chords and really in-depth stuff. I'm boiling this down to something really simple. 2 chords. A minor, D minor. Those 2 chords are both derived from the key of A minor, which means that you can get away with playing an A minor pentatonic scale over everything. If you had a jam, you can do that over both chords, which works. And a lot of guitarists do it because it sounds nice and it's easy and it works. But if you want to start outlining chords and have a smoother approach to doing so, do this as an exercise. The basics of this, what I'm getting at, is that you would think about those 2 chords as belonging to 2 scales now. A minor pentatonic and D minor pentatonic. That's it in principle, and I'm sure you're with me so far, that you're thinking, okay, minor pentatonic position 1 for A minor, minor pentatonic position 1 for D minor, fret, all you'd have to memorise is fret 5, 10. But I want to push even further. I want you to think about, try and play as closely as possible. Because you can play this as minor pentatonic position 1 for A minor, and then switch to this version for the D minor pentatonic scale and chuck on those 2 notes just to complete it, make it more full. This is step 1, where I'm going with this. Hopefully you're with me so far that I've taken an A minor pentatonic scale and a D minor pentatonic scale and put them just closer to one another instead of jumping around like that. So the exercise itself is that you would play to the beat, the scale, ascending and descending, but as the chord changes, you switch to the other scale. So if you go up this one, and then the chord changes, without stopping, you would descend in that D minor pentatonic scale, and it's in that non-stopness, that continuation, however you want to word it, that you're building the muscle memory of pushing through and continuing and planning ahead, playing music while planning and listening to your backing track. Here's an example of me doing just that. You heard it. As the backing track changes chords, are descending that second scale in that D minor pentatonic scale, and it looks nice and compact because I'm keeping it within 4 frets. The natural progression from this is that you would do the exact same, but you'd do it using my favourite word, subdividing the beats. So instead of just doing 1 note per beat, I think that's what I did. I recorded the examples earlier. You now double it. So whatever I did before, I'm now going to double it. Keeping the backing track the same speed though, it results in this. Starts to get a bit tricky. That was not my first attempt doing that as an exercise. I need to practice this too. So where is the natural progression? The natural progression from this is that you would jumble the notes up, make it more musical, but keep it continuous. There's A minor, D, A minor, can you hear the change? D, A, D. Here's an example of that. And it's at that point where it starts getting into a real worthwhile exercise. It takes time to build that up. I'm choosing 2 very easy chords there and a nice simple area of the neck. You can take this and use 2 unrelated chords, purposefully change key, change tonal center, go modal, go 3 note per string, go crazy. But only when you're really confident doing this. I wouldn't jump in at that just yet. I need to work on this a bit more. So I would do that, and with a view to going really out there, choosing crazy chords and doing that continuous scale exercise. Where do we go from here? We go to this. That's just minor pentatonic position 1, sort of, for each on different root notes. So what about sliding around all those 5 positions of the minor pentatonic scale? Yet, when the chord changes, you change scale. You have to know and shift to the correct position at the right time. It's not easy to do, but it is possible. It sounds like this. Continuous notes, that is the real basis of this as an exercise, because you're not making it musical yet. It's getting close, and it does build you up for doing some of that unbroken playing that you hear, you know, just long melodic lines. It's through using practice like this, but this isn't music so far. You add rhythm and dynamics and repetition for music. This is an exercise to build up that fluidity that people want. People want seamless fluidity switching from chord to chord. So what do? Do you start off with 4 chords and 3-note string? No, you go simpler, 2 chords, and do a continuous note exercise within that. Then whatever song you're practicing, this is from a jazz book. The idea is that you would choose another song with different chord progressions and practice those accordingly. Go crazy with the scales. Do one without subdivisions, do one with. It's the people who go above and beyond. This is a springboard that I would give you an exercise and you take it up to the next degree. You get out what you put in, he said. Massive cliche, sorry about that, but you do. So don't leave it there. Think about doing it in different keys, different chords, modulating. Do it as a 10-minute warm-up, whatever. Just take it and evolve it to your own ends, whatever goals you want. The continuous note exercise, I'm definitely going to practice it. It creeps into your play, and here's a quick example of that. While scrolling across the bottom and also across the bottom are some incredible names of supporters of the channel. Here we go. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Anthony Couch, and that's it.